Hey, what's up, everybody? I wanted to take a minute and just share a couple pointers from some mistakes that I've made assembling this 5.3 hemi engine. You can see I've got some new connecting rods and new pistons on here. The mistake that I made, your arrow on your piston always points toward the front. And I know these are dirty. These are my bad. This is my bad pile. Yeah, I know I've got brand new pistons and rods in the bad pile. It's garbage. So what I did was went through here. I heated my rods in a kiln. I've got another video on that on a different Dodge, on a 4-cylinder, but it's the same concept. Heated the rods, slipped the pins in. They're gold. They're great. So when I did that, there's always a dimpled side on these connecting rods. You got a dimple, which that dimple is indicating your thick side. If you notice, that side sticks out significantly farther on the dimpled side. So me being a genius, that's going to point with the arrow toward the front. So I did all 8 of them pointing toward that arrow, and that is incorrect because 4 of them, the arrow points toward the thick side, and the other 4, it points toward the thin side. And that is because your thick side goes against the crankshaft. 4 on one side, then 4 on the other. Thick side goes against the crankshaft. So the thin side goes against the other rod. You notice that's the thin side. So the 2 thin sides are touching together, and the thick sides are facing out. So that being said, that's how this rod goes in here. And the arrow, if you notice, is pointing toward the back. When it's upside down, the arrow's pointing toward the back. That's completely incorrect. So we go to this, and I accidentally put this one on backwards, and I thought I was going to have to replace the 2 I put on backwards. That wasn't the case. I have to replace the 2 that I thought were correct. So this arrow now is pointing toward the front with the fat side facing out, thin side facing the other rocker, arrow pointing toward the front of the engine. So 4 and 4. Now as far as your rings, your first oil expander ring, let me find one that I've put the rings on. Okay, I miss. What? I got a piston missing. Oh, duh, here it is. Now this piston is correct. Arrow's pointing toward the front, fat side's facing the opposite, so that's how it's going to go in on, I'm not sure if it's bank 1 or 2. Have to stand on my head to try to figure that out. Anyway, your first oil expander ring, which is this ruffly one in here. That's that ruffly ring that goes in between the 2 thin rings. The gap sits at the 1 o'clock position on that. Now when you put your 2 rings around it, the oil rings, one goes in the 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, is that 1? Yeah, one goes 1 o'clock. First ring's 11 o'clock, then the second ring's 1 o'clock, and 5 o'clock, roughly. I don't ever put the gaps on the notches. It's just something I don't do. It looks like on the procedure that that's where they go, but I don't ever do that. I put it just a little bit off from that opening. Anyway, now your center ring, compression ring, faces 3 o'clock. That's your biggest ring. It goes in the 3 o'clock position. Then your very top compression ring goes back to the 11 o'clock where your very first ring was. Nothing goes down here. I don't know why. The procedure had a 5 right here facing this way, but it actually showed using position 1, 2, 3, and 4, and those are it. That's all it has using, as long as they're staggered, but that was the exact way the procedure went. Then those, you submerge this in oil, you fill these rings with oil. It says to dip them. I just pour a little bit along the rings. You know, use your ring compressor, and then tap the piston in. These are a little funky. The bottom kind of shoots out a little farther, and I don't like that, but it seems to be normal for this. So Anyway, anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll go back into timing on this once I get to it, if I ever get to it. I'm waiting on some new pistons now. But I actually cleaned up the old ones pretty good. This is one of the old ones, or the original ones. I cleaned it up well, but I just couldn't go put a used one in with all the other old ones. I almost did, but I was just really upset over putting those in backwards. And when I tried to press it out, you can't redo these. I pressed this out and it's fully seized up. I mean, it does not move. It's fully stuck. When you go to press that out, you actually damage the ring around there. And I tried everything I could, but everything I do, the force required to force these pins out damages the piston. And I practiced on all of the old ones, and I damaged every one of them. So there was just no way. Maybe if you could connect some kind of wires to this and heat up only the rod while you put some kind of frozen rod inside of here to keep the pin cold, maybe it'll work. But I effed up all the pistons. So I can't do nothing about it. This is from a 2013 Ram. Make sure you bore out your cylinders. Get good cross hatches in there. That's the big thing. Take your cylinder hone. I don't know if I said bore, but you take your hone in there, up and down, rather slow, go up and down, and then pull it out. That'll give you these nice crosshatch threads. I can't really see mine, but I got some good ones. It's just real dirty, but I clean all this out as I go along. Most of the time, just rinse it with clean engine oil. Anyway, if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate. Hiccups. Don't hesitate to ask. I got 4 bad pistons here that are going in the trash. Don't do what I did. Later.